on to the next one. This one, however, is just a shower valve. Still a Symmons though. Now this volume control, it's rather than being a diverter for a tub and then a shower head, it's a volume control. And that feels, well, definitely a little bit on the stiff side. A little clunky. With it. Alright, this off to the side here. Same thing. Let's make sure we're about halfway. About leverage. Drain out. How does this? See, that balancing spool is not clicking. So if it wasn't already giving him trouble, it was probably going to very soon. So we'll take that out. Yep. Up. All right, what do these seats look like? Front one looks all right. Back one looks a little bit rough again. All right. So, same process. All right. Let's try and remove this outer seat. It's always best to start with the actual tool because you're going to be less likely to potentially stretch the actual valve body. That one actually came out pretty nicely right there. I know I was in the way, but there we go. Now we'll go for the inner seat. Let's see if I can do this without getting in the way. Go. When they break free, they break free. There's the inner seat. Definitely a little bit rough. Now, for all you out there, the part number for these seats is TA4. Symmons. I know the box has definitely been on the truck for a little while. But you get the paperwork, and you get your seats. And they're stuck together. Got the outer one, the inner one. Again, always make sure to dope up that inner seat. If you don't, we'll end up with a leak. Stick it on your tool, slide it in, thread it in, making sure you don't cross thread, and you snug it down. Pop the old outer seat off, the tool, grab a little bit of silicone grease, grease up that outer O-ring there. There's also one on the inside, you can grease that too. Put it on your tool. Make sure you don't have any burrs on the inside. Feels pretty smooth. Set it in there. Again, making sure you don't cross thread it. It's best to hand tighten it down. And with the wrench, just snug it down. All right. Then, once you have your seats in, you grab the spindle, which is a Symmons TA10 is the part number for these spindles. And grab your new spindle. Make sure it clicks. Grease up the threads. Grab your bonnet nut. Spin it on there a couple times. And that's ready to go. But before we put this in, let us handle this volume control. This old washer's on here still too. All right. Put that one on there like that. Now, with this guy, it looks like it's a hex, so find the right sized Allen for it. Hope that you have it with you, which looks like I do. Pop out the little retaining. It's almost like a washer, but it's a nut. So that goes like that. Now on the inside here, there should be a little retaining piece. This one looks like it's plastic. Sometimes they're brass. Because then the plastic, they break like that. So that's, and a lot of times these plastic spindles, especially if they haven't been used, do tend to break. But they make these, this outer part brass so that it's less likely to strip out when you actually are using the lever. Now some guys will try and dig this volume control cartridge out, but a lot of times they're stuck in there. So very simple but an effective trick. Because they're plastic, you can take just a lag bolt, anything similar, stick it in the middle, thread it in, and then it will cause enough friction on the bolt that it will just start spinning the plastic in there. Just pull back at the same time and it will just pop it out. All right, so then you take a 1/2-inch fitting brush, they fit very nicely in there. You just clean it up a bit. Make sure that everything is good and smooth. Gets rid of some of that corrosion that's in there. Then for the shower volume control, you use a Symmons TA25B. They're black. The tub shower valves use a very similar looking spindle, but they are white. I don't have one on the truck, so I can't give you the part number for that. See, this is that piece I was talking about that is brass instead of plastic. So again, there's a little O-ring on the end here, and you just want to lube that O-ring up. And then these, you know, it's meant to go like that with the little ridge facing down, so you have it matching with the spindle. So when you stick the new spindle in, you have it so that this little lever washer piece, I don't know exactly what to call it, but I'm sure it'll come to me later. Put that on, and just to kind of hopefully keep these from corroding, put a little bit of silicone grease on this retaining nut here. Thread that on, making sure not to cross thread it. Snug it down. Back out your Allen wrench. And take your lever, stick it in there, and make sure you're operating nice and smooth back and forth. That's how we want it. So with that done now, we can then go back to our spindle and balancing spool. Again, you want to make sure that it's not fully open, not fully closed. Just spin that back on. Take your adjustable. Snug it down. Take your handle in, make those new washers to the new seats. Open and close it a couple times, give it a good snug turn down. And it's time for repressurization. Let me just clean up behind it real quick. Tools away. screwdriver. I'll step out. That back in. Second. Okay. Yes, there is no shower door. So, put this handle on. No volume. Full volume, low volume. It should get hot. Might take a minute for the hot water to get up here. Does feel like it's warming up though. Yes it is. It's really cold, which is very sensitive. That's cold. And it shuts off right away. That's very good. That's what we want. Alright, let's get back in there to finish putting it back together. Forgot an important part behind the faceplate here. Shouldn't have to take it all the way off to get this in there though. This piece up just a little bit. We don't have as much soap scum on it. Packing still looks good and dry. Turn our volume control down so that our collar can make it past it. That's nice and smooth now. That so it's not up and down, it's just off to the right side of where it marks off. Put our new screw in there. That was just some residual water in the shower head as the vacuum, as the shower head draws some air in to relieve the vacuum. Alright. Clean up the mess, all the crud that came out of the valve.